Read Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So we are on Canto 4, Chapter 19, verse 14. King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi. So King Indra has come as a sannyasi and he's stealing the horse. He's invisible, but Atri Muni detects Indra and he reports to Prthu Maharaj. And Prthu Maharaj is very angry and he's chasing Indra and saying, wait, wait. So he wants to kill Indra. But you can't kill a Kshatriya who is fleeing from the back. So that's what Prabhupada said like that. Okay, so King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Prthu considered Indra as a religious man and a pious sannyasi. So is it the son of King Prthu? He's saying, what is saying? Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Prthu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi. Therefore, he did not release his arrows. So Prithu's son is chasing Indra. Okay, and he saw him in the dress of a sannyasi, so he did not release his arrows. When Atri Muni saw that the son of King Prithu did not kill Indra, but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king because he thought that Indra had become the lowliest of all demigods due to his impending the execution of King Prithu's sacrifice. So Atri Muni is telling him, no, kill him, kill him. So but Prithu Maharaj's son is not killing him. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. So Atri Muni is saying like that, so again Prithu Maharaj's son began to follow Indra. He was very angry with him and he chased him just as the king of the vultures chased Ravan. Who's the king of vultures who chased Ravan?
Jatayu.
Japa. Okay, so he's in hot pursuit of King Indra, who is running away, fleeing in great haste. When Indra saw that the son of Prithu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. So he returned to his original form from his sannyasi form and he let go the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot. And the great hero, the son of Maharaj Prthu, returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. Maharaj Prithu's son brought the horse back. Indra fled and he was not caught, but this horse was retrieved. My dear Lord Vidura, when the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Prithu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijitashva. The one Ashwa means horse, one who won the horse back. They called him Vijitashva. Any comments? It's okay. Then, my dear Vidura, Indra being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena. So Indra is trying to stop the horse sacrifice somehow or the other. First he stole the horse and because of being chased, he left the horse. Now he is trying to create some environmental issues by creating bad weather. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse. Okay, so in the cover of darkness, maybe he can summon the clouds, and the clouds, when they come in the sky, it becomes dark. And again he came and stole away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where animals were sacrificed. So again, he's coming. The great sage Atri. Krishna Prasad want to say anything? The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prthu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. So again Atri is saying, oh, here again Indra is coming and stealing the horse. The great hero, the son of Prthu, chased him again, but when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top, and again wearing the dress as a sannyasi of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. When the great sage Atri gave directions, the son of King Prthu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing the king, this King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi, giving the horse, and made himself invisible. So again the same thing happened. He left the horse and he went. Then the great hero Vijitashva, the son of King Prthu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this. So it was from this time that people have been wearing the dress of a sannyasi like that and cheating. Since time immemorial, the sannyas order has carried the Tridanda. Later, Shankaracharya introduced the Ekadandi sannyas. A Tridandi sannyasi is a Vaishnava sannyasi and an Ekadandi sannyasi is a Mayavadi sannyasi. There are many other types of sannyasi who are not approved by Vedic rituals. A type of pseudo sannyasi was introduced by Indra when he tried to hide himself from the attack of Vijitashva, the great son of King Prthu. Now there are many different types of sannyasis. Some of them go naked, some of them, generally known as Kapalika, carry a skull and trident. All of them were introduced under some meaningless circumstances, and those who have poor fund of knowledge accept these false sannyasis and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide guides to spiritual advancement. At the present moment, some missionary institutions, without referring to Vedic rituals, have introduced some sannyasis who engage in sinful activities. The sinful activities forbidden by the Shastras are illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. These so-called sannyasis indulge in all these activities. They eat meat and flesh, fish, eggs, and just about everything. They sometimes drink with the excuse that without alcohol, fish, and meat, it is impossible to remain in cold countries near the Arctic zone. These sannyasis introduce all these sinful activities in the name of serving the poor, and consequently poor animals are cut to pieces and go into the bellies of these sannyasis. As described in the following verses, such sannyasis are pakandis. Vedic literature states that a person who puts Lord Narayan on the level with Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma immediately becomes a pakandi. As stated in Puranas, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradri Devate Samatveneva Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavetruam. In Kali Yuga, the Pakhandis are very prominent. However, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tried to kill all these Pakhandis by introducing his Sankirtan movement. Those who take advantage of the Sankirtan movement of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness will be able to save themselves from the influence of these Pakhandis. Okay. So, ISKCON is preaching the right principles and the right philosophy. And there are many pseudo things going on by so many organizations, but ISKCON is preaching. Of course, there may be other organizations. We are not saying that because we belong to this organization, this is the only right one. But this is a bona fide parampara. Like yesterday in the lecture, we were hearing how when a man is fallen into the well, then there are ropes that are thrown in the well. And there are how many ropes?
4.
4 kind of ropes. And the 4 ropes represent
4 sampradaya.
4 sampradayas. So one has to be connected to a bona fide sampradaya. Then only. and the practitioner of those sampradayas should also be very pure. So in this way, one can be pulled out of the material existence. This rope also is sometimes referred to as the rope of
Mercy. Mercy.
mercy. Yes, and the
Yeah.
holy name.
Holding the rope is our endeavor.
The rope is also the holy name. So
Mm.
because it has descended from Golokundan. Mercy is also in the form of instructions.
Um, Prabhuji, Radhe Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to mention that I think appearance of, however, how far I understood is even within the bona fide sampradayas, people were more scripture oriented, this Brahmana Pandit, but they didn't have bhakti. And one of the greatest example of this was Vasudev Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. He actually initially insulted Chaitanya Dev a lot because Chaitanya Dev, in order to spread Harinam, he has to take sannyas, right? Without taking sannyas, he couldn't do it. He has to leave Navadip, his wife, his mother, and he took sannyas from the Sampradaya, Keshav Bharatin Katwa, which Sampradaya, Bharati Sampradaya, used to be considered very low level. So Sarvabhaum raised that question when Mahaprabhu arrived in Sri Kshetra or Nilachal. He insulted him very much. But Acharya Gopinath tried to tell him that because to spread Harinam, Prabhu, Hari has taken sannyas. There is no other. He didn't think of the sampradaya. So that means that Krishna wanted to, annihilate this kind of idea or abandon this. The Harinam is more important than Shastra or Gyan, talking too much knowledge. And there is a verse in, he recites that time. That is the more important. Even within the bona fide, there are a lot of misuse of, instead of bhakti, they was more interested in knowledge or Shastra. And one of the Mahaprabhu's prime knowledge or message is Gyan Mukta Bhakti, Nishkaran Bhakti, right? Nishkaran Bhakti, he already mentions in Nadhanam Najanam, that paragraph. So that is the more important. Even within even Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya was mentioned that, the Bhoot Shankaracharya, Mahaprabhu corrects it. He is Bhutanath. He is not Bhoot. He is Bhutanath. Harinam is more important than any Gyan. Gyan without bhakti is like a desert. So he correct. Actually, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya insulted Mahaprabhu a lot, insulted. But later, when he showed his he could see his Vishnu form, Mahaprakash, which then he changed. But initially, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not, very much inclined to Mahaprabhu at all. Later on, then he gave space, room to him and his followers who came from Navadip with Mahaprabhu, a home. But initially, it was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya who insulted Mahaprabhu a lot, because he took sannyas from a low-level sampradaya called Bharati Sampradaya. Why did he take sannyas from a low-level Bharati Sampradaya? But Acharya Gopinath was correcting it. Mahaprabhu's aim is to take sannyas and spread Harinam as much as possible. He didn't think of which sampradaya. And Lord Hari wanted to send that message that which sampradaya, it is not important. Spreading Harinam, singing Harinam is more important.
Thank you.
Radhe Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Anybody else like to say anything? Okay. So we go to the next verse. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant, because of his desire to seize the horse, were symbols of atheistic philosophy. So he tried 2 times at least. So whatever he was trying was all atheistic philosophy. According to Vedic civilization, sannyas is one of the essential items in the program of an ashram institution. One should accept sannyas according to the parampara system of the acharyas. At the present moment, however, so many so-called sannyasis or mendicants have no understanding of God consciousness. Such sannyas was introduced by Indra because of his jealousy of Maharaj Prthu, and what he introduced is again appearing in the age of Kali. Practically none of the sannyasis in this age are bona fide. No one can introduce any new system into the Vedic way of life. If one does so out of malice, he is known to be known as Pashandi or atheist. In the Vaishnava Tantra, it is said, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devate Samatveneva Viksheta Sa Pashandi Pavedro. Again, Prabhupada is quoting this verse in the last one. Although it is forbidden, there are many Pashandis who coin terms like Daridra Narayan and Swami Narayan. Although not even such demigods as Brahma and Shiva can be equal to Narayan. Okay. So the Mayavadi sannyasis, they think each other as Narayan, like that, and they say Namo Narayan, something like that. They think we are all Narayan, we are all God. So Sarvam Bhattacharya, he said, why are you dancing and chanting like a sentimental person? Why don't you do what? Why don't you?
Study the Vedas with us.
Yeah, why don't you study Vedanta?
Vedanta.
And then he said, okay, I will teach you Vedanta. And then for 7 days, I think he spoke.
Mm-hmm.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting and not speaking anything. Then what did Sarvam Bhattacharya say?
Did you understand anything?
Hmm.
You're not asking any questions.
Did you understand anything? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said,
Yeah, it is very clear, but your explanations are clouding over.
yeah. He said the Vedanta's meaning is as clear as the midday sun, but your explanations are like the cloud that is obscuring the sun. So then he spoke, and then Sarvam Bhattacharya and everybody became devotees. Like that. They gave up their impersonal conception. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita like that. So, in this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from King Prthu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyas. So many times he tried to steal the horse. Sometimes some sannyasis go naked, and sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. There are symbolic representations of their These are symbolic representations of their sinful activities. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless atheists and are very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their case. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and are not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious, being attracted to them, they spoil their life. So this is also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu also went to a sannyasi, a fake sannyasi. He was saying, then how is a sannyasi? He was married, he said. And then after, there's a nice conversation, right? You can read that. He said, I will give you some wine. Let me get you some ananda. And then Nityananda Prabhu told, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking at Nityananda Prabhu and said, what is this ananda? It's this wine. And then they left. But they gave mercy. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they went to the sannyasis. So, where is that pastime? It's in Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Yes.
Okay, we can, where it is, we can read a little bit.
Daru Sannyasi. Maybe it's in the document that I created.
Okay, yeah, let me look in that.
Yeah. Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Leela, chapter 19, verse 45.
Okay, Chaitanya Bhagavan. So we'll come back to 4:19:24. Okay. It's a funny pastime. Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Leela.
Chapter 19, verse 45.
So we'll just backtrack a little bit. In this way, Nityananda and the son of Jagannath Mishra wandered about the city. So Nityananda Prabhu and Sachi son, Jagannath Mishra's son. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda were wandering. Addressing Nityananda, Vishwambar said, "Let us go to Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Let us go to Advaita Acharya's house." The two joyful, most restless lords then set out on the path to Advaita Acharya's house. So they were some distance away. And the Shantipur is where Advaita Acharya. So he says, "Let us go to Advaita Acharya." Halfway down the road near Mulluka is a village named Lalitpur, which is situated near the Ganges. In that village lived a householder sannyasi. So that itself is a. His house was on the side of the road near the Ganges. The Lord asked Nityananda, "Do you know whose ashram is this is and who stays here?" So he had an ashram. And they were passing by and they came across this ashram. And he said, "Whose ashram? Who is this?" Nityananda replied, "Oh Lord, this is the house of sannyasi." Then the Lord said, "If we are fortunate, we can meet him." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows already, but at least maybe we'll be able to meet him. The two Prabhus smiled as they went to the sannyasi's house. Vishwambar thereupon offered obeisances to the sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya is bowing down to the sannyasi. On seeing Vishwambar's most enchanting form, beautiful limbs, and smiling face, the sannyasi, in great satisfaction, offered him various benedictions. "May you achieve wealth, family, good wife, and learning." So when Vishwambar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bowed down, and this sannyasi was so much, attracted by Lord Chaitanya's beauty. He had such enchanting form, golden complexion. He offered him blessing. "May you achieve wealth, family, good wife, and learning." प्रभु बोले गोसाई ए नहीं आशीर्वाद. Prabhu bole, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, "Goshai, this is not Ashirvad. He na bole tore ho Krishna ra prasad." The Lord said, "Oh Gosai, this is not a benediction. Rather, you should say, 'May you attain the mercy of Krishna.'" Instead of saying that, "May you achieve this wealth and family and like all these things," you should say, "May you achieve Krishna. That blessing you should give me." The benediction of devotional service to Vishnu is inexhaustible and indestructible. Whatever you have said, O Gosai, does not befit you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "This is not what you are saying. This is, you should give me the benediction of devotional service." The sannyasi smiled and said, "I am now directly experiencing what I have previously heard about." Sannyasi is saying, "Yes, I have heard about." What he has heard about? If good advice is given, people will chase you with a stick. The behavior of this son of a Brahmana is just like that. So I am giving him good blessings, but he is instead instructing me what I should do. So sometimes good advice is given and then people will chase you with a stick. I happily award him the benediction of wealth. And what to I happily awarded him the benediction of wealth. And what to speak of appreciating it, he found fault in me. So I gave him such nice benedictions, and instead of saying thank you and being grateful for the benediction, he's finding fault in me. The sannyasi said, "Listen, O son of a Brahmana, why do you criticize my benediction? If one who has taken his birth in the world does not engage in sense gratification, does not enjoy beautiful women, and does not accumulate wealth, then what is the use of his life? And you are embarrassed to accept the benediction of such wealth?" So he is thinking according to his understanding. Like who said? Charvak said, right? What does Charvak say? Somehow,
Beg, borrow, or steal, but eat ghee.
somehow or other get ghee. Because
There's only one life.
after this there is no life. Just enjoy somehow or other, get ghee, become strong, get money and eat ghee and become strong and enjoy sense enjoyment, because after this life there is nothing.
This is Rishi Charvak's message?
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Prabhupada says, what is he says, like there is a Sanskrit quote also for this. Bhasma, Bhuta, something like that. Somehow or other get ghee. So, this sannyasi is saying, I am giving him such nice benedictions for enjoyment. And so, and if you don't have money, then somehow, Rinam kritva griham pibet yavat jivet sukham jivet. Rinam kritva, rin karo, debt somehow or other, yavat sukham. So, anyway, so this is, and I'm giving you such nice benediction. Then what is the use of life? Sometimes people say enjoy life. It is too short. So enjoy life. Are you embarrassed to accept the benediction of such wealth? Tell me, even if you have devotion to Vishnu, what will you eat if you do not have wealth? If you have bhakti but you don't have devotion to Vishnu, what are you going to eat if you don't have money? On hearing the words of the sannyasi, the Lord smiled and raised his hand to his forehead, saying, "Hi, hi." Like that. By this action, Mahaprabhu taught everyone not to aspire for anything other than devotional service, which is like na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. So, listen, O sannyasi Gosai, we will certainly eat whatever is destined by our karma. Mahaprabhu said, don't worry, we will eat whatever we have gotten by our karma. If wealth and family are the aim of life, then tell me, why are they taken away at the time of death? So, Mahaprabhu is saying, yeah, if this is the goal of life, then why are we separated at the time of death? No one wants fever. Why then does fever appear and afflict one's body? Listen, Gosai, the cause of this is karma. What great personality knows this in truth? Some people claim that the Vedas indicate the heavenly planets are the goal of life, but such teachings are simply the compassion of the Vedas on the foolish. So in the Vedas also there is a lot of promotion to heavenly planets. People take great pleasure in material happiness, and the Vedas offer directions according to their mentality. What is the fault of the Vedas? The Vedas declare, by taking bath in the Ganges and chanting the name of Hari, one will achieve wealth and children, and people therefore engage in such activities. If one somehow or other takes bath in the Ganges and chants the names of Hari, then by the influence of those activities, one will easily achieve devotional service. So he was living on the bank of Ganges. Mahaprabhu says, somehow or other, if one goes in Ganga and chants the name of Hari, then he will achieve devotion. Foolish people do not understand this intention of the Vedas. So they think that by bathing in Ganges, one will achieve wealth and children. So people go there, but actually, someone takes bath in the Ganges and chants the name of Hari, then somehow or other he will achieve devotional service. Foolish people do not understand this intention of the Vedas. So they give up devotional service to Krishna and engage in sense gratification. O Gosai, try to understand what is good and what is bad. There is no benediction other than devotional service to Krishna. He is preaching to him. Pure.
Yeah, especially the Harinam. Chanting, bathing in Ganges is not important. It's being cleansed and taking Harinam. It is the most important. That's why the Veda tries to send a message, right? But people misunderstand, misinterpret.
While instructing the sannyasi, the Supreme Lord and spiritual master of everyone taught devotional service through Vedic evidence. Whatever Lord Chaitanya speaks is the absolute truth. Sinful living entities who blaspheme others do not accept his words. On hearing the Lord's words, the sannyasi smiled and thought, I can understand that this Brahmana has become crazy because of misguidance. So sannyasi is that householder sannyasi is thinking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has become crazy because he has been misguided. He is talking all these things. It appears that this sannyasi has spoiled this Brahmana boy's mind and is taking him away somewhere. So he thought, Nityananda Prabhu was dressed as a sannyasi and he was with Mahaprabhu. So he thought Nityananda Prabhu has spoiled Mahaprabhu's mind and is taking him somewhere. So he's misguided him. The sannyasi said, the time has come when I appear ignorant before a child. So I am so learned, but you are taking me as ignorant. I have traveled throughout the world to Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, and Badrik Ashram. I have been to all holy places like Gujarat, Kashi, Gaya, Vijayanagar, and Sri Lanka. Yet I could not understand what is good and what is bad. Now this child who is still drinking his mother's milk is teaching me. So he's saying this little child is telling me, I am such a veteran sannyasi, I know, I have so much experience. He is telling me what I should do. Nityananda smiled and said, listen Gosai, there is no need to argue with a child. So if you think Nimai is a child, don't argue with him. I know well your glories. For my sake, forgive all his offenses. So Nityananda Prabhu was pleading with him, please forgive him. He doesn't know. He's like a child. Don't argue with him. When the sannyasi heard the glorification of himself, so he said, I know. Nityananda Prabhu said, we know your glories. You are such a great personality. He became pleased and immediately invited them for lunch. Nityananda said, we have to leave immediately for some important work. You may give us something that we can eat on the way after taking bath. So we have to go to some place. They were going to Shantipur. So you can give us something we can eat on the way. The sannyasi said, take bath here, eat something, feel refreshed and then go. The two Prabhus incarnated to deliver the sinful activities. So they agreed to remain in the sannyasi's house. So this is the compassion of Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that they remained even there. After getting relief from their journey by taking bath in the Ganges, the two Prabhus came and sat down to eat some fruit. So they took a bath, they came. First they offered items like milk, mangoes and jackfruit to Lord Krishna and then they sat down to eat before the sannyasi. The sinful sannyasi drank wine. Making some signs to Nityananda, he spoke as follows. Listen, Shripad, shall I bring you some Ananda? Where else can I find guests like you? So he was enchanted by the beauty already. Says, you are such special guests. Let me get you some ananda. Anand means bliss. What is that bliss? Since Nityanand Prabhu had visited various places, he could understand that this person was a drunkard sannyasi. The sannyasi repeatedly asked, shall I bring some ananda? Nityananda replied, we should go now. On seeing the cupid like beauty of the two lords, the sannyasi's wife watched them with full concentration. So they were so beautiful. Sannyasi's wife cannot take eyes of them. She told her husband, why are you disturbing their meal? Let them eat, why are you disturbing? The Lord said, what is this Ananda? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the sannyasi is talking about. Nityananda replied, I think he is talking about wine. Vishwambar remembered Lord Vishnu. He washed his hands and immediately left. After jumping into the Ganges, the two restless lords went to the house of Advaita Acharya by floating in the water of the Ganges. The Lord bestowed mercy on womanizers and drunkards, but he annihilates blasphemers, even if they are well versed in Vedanta. So, those were aparadhis, Vaishnava aparadhis. So, sinful are delivered. But although this sannyasi drank wine and intimately associated with women, the Lord visited his house. In the course of their conversation, the Lord taught him religious principles. He took rest in his house and ate there. Even if the sannyasi could not attain perfection in this life, he would in the next. But the blasphemers will never achieve perfection. That is why non-devotee sannyasis cannot see the Lord. The sannyasis of Kashi are evidence of this. As described in Antya Khanda, when the Lord went to Kashi, all the sannyasis there heard about his arrival. They were all conversant with Vedanta and practiced austerities. They had lived their lives in Kashi and was greatly renowned. Yet all their good qualities were nullified by one fault. They taught Vedanta but did not explain devotional service to Vishnu. The lion like Gaura, super soul of all, knows everything. Although he went to Kashi, he did not give darshan to those sannyasis. So he was living in the house of Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, I think, somewhere. And then he would not go until one day one Brahmana came and said, please come to my home. Because Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar, they were very disturbed. Because everybody was criticizing Lord Chaitanya, that he's sentimentally dancing and like that. He doesn't study the Vedanta, although he has taken sannyas. He doesn't study Vedanta. And then finally, this Brahmana came and said, please come to my home. I've invited everybody. I know generally you don't go, but today you please come. So Lord Chaitanya accepted the invitation. And then
And Chandrasekhar, Acharya Chandrasekhar was Nimai's Mesho, Mashi's husband, elderly, who took him to Gaya. He was very much affectionate. He used to treat Nimai as his son because Nimai's Masi didn't have any child. Sarvajaya, Chachimata's younger sister.
Yeah. We saw that house of Chandrasekhar Acharya on Mayapur. Right?
Chaitanya Math.
Mhm.
Chaitanya Math.
Yeah.
That is the place. No, Chaitanya Math is the place where his mama Jageshwar Acharya Jageshwar used to live. And Mashir Badi, yeah.
Mashir Bari.
Mashir Badi, yeah. The book said that original house got washed away by the Ganges over time. Vishnu Priya moved everything, She made a deity of Nimai as her husband because Nimai Chaitanya came into her dream and told that make a deity of me and be with that. I'll be with you. Because Vishnu Priya was very young girl, so they brought the branch of that neem tree under which Chaitanya Dev was born and made a deity that Vishnu Priya temple is known as Vishnu Priya temple.
Yeah, I think we went to that place, Vishnu
Yeah, we
Priya's.
went there. Yeah, temple.
Did we go there?
His chapel Kharamu is there, no? Nimai Pandits.
We went there, right? with
Yes, sir. Yeah, Navadvip Mandal Parikrama.
Hmm.
okay. So like anyway, this is outside the.
Mm. So also, this sannyasi was eating meat, and also when Lord visited his house, he didn't eat any cooked food. He only ate fruits, right? So if you go into somebody's house, that they are eating meat.
Yeah, it says milk and mangoes and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Jackfruit, milk, mangoes, and jackfruit.
Yeah.
They didn't have their lunch. Anything else? Doesn't mention anything.
No, it doesn't mention. Yeah, we should avoid grains from such people, right, who are not following devotional path. But we should not reject whatever they want to, but we can ask, you can give us some fruits.
Hmm. Correct. Okay, so we back to our. Yeah, because when grains are cooked, that's when the consciousness is carried. That's what they say. So also, right, like I mean, those who are not chanting and like that. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I will not accept my meal at their home. Only if you want, if you're lakpati." So
64 rounds.
64 rounds. But yeah, if they're chanting and like their devotional consciousness, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, so then, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, men in this age of Kali are short lived. We should always remember our life is not very long in Kali Yuga. And that should inspire us to do what is the most important thing. Our life is not very long, so we are short lived. Um, what is that verse? We are short lived and all these things.
Prayana Alpaisha Sabhya Kalapasmin Yugechana Manda Samanda Mataya Manda Bhagya Padrita.
And after some age, life also becomes very troublesome because all health problems start and all these things. And so it's the time is now. We should think. Let me surrender to Krishna. Life is very short. So man in this age of Kali, yeah,
And not waste time in Prajalpa and other activities. Every moment is precious.
yeah, we have to become serious, sincere, and serious about our devotional service. So, and if we have enough money and everything, then we can, chant here Krishna's names. And of course, working is not anything bad or anything, but it is everybody has to work. But then we can also use our time and knowing that I got this rare human form of life. It is ending so fast, and nothing is going to go with me. And I, as the spirit soul, will transmigrate to a different situation. So, should become very eager to change our consciousness, to become Krishna conscious. So that is the thing. Um, okay, to serve Krishna. Men in this age of Kali are short lived, devoid of spiritual knowledge. So we got spiritual knowledge, we are very fortunate and susceptible to accept false religious system due to their unfortunate condition. Thus they remain always remain mentally disturbed. the Vedic Shastras practically prohibit the adoption of sannyas in the age of Kali because less intelligent may accept sannyas order for cheating purposes. Actually, the only religion is the religion of surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We must serve the Lord in Krishna consciousness. All other systems of sannyas and religion are actually not bona fide. In this age, they are simply passing for religious systems. This is most regrettable. So we have to chant Hare Krishna and we make others chant Hare Krishna. That is the religious system of this age. As you were saying, to spread the chanting of the holy name. So we inspire others to chant also. Okay. So we have to meditate on this. How life is short. So we will not get carried away by so many things. We have to meditate on this, how life is short. And I have a long way to go. So I should. You have a long way to go and time is short, then what you should do? What is that?
Tivrena bhakti yogena.
We have to intensify or accelerate our devotional service. Like if you want to go to Cincinnati and you have a very important meeting there, and if you drive according to speed limit, it will take 2 hours to go there. But you have only 1.5 hours left before the meeting. Let's say your meeting is at 9 a.m. and you are in Columbus and it's 7:30 a.m. And if you drive at the speed that you're supposed to drive, I'm not advocating to drive over the speed limit, but I'm just giving an analogy. It's 7:30 now and there's a meeting at 9 a.m. Very important meeting. It starts at 9 a.m. And you are at 7:30 in Columbus. And it takes 2 hours to go there. So 9:30, you will reach at 9:30 if you drive normal speed and all that. But you have to attend this meeting somehow or the other. It's very important. So what will you do? You will accelerate. Of course, we don't want to it's maybe a wrong analogy, but the idea is that you accelerate your devotional service because time is short. And so we accelerate our change of consciousness. We say, no, it is very urgent for me to become Krishna conscious because death is coming. So I want to become Krishna conscious very fast. I want to think of Krishna. I want to become attached to Krishna. Like that. So we have to intensify. So you have to accelerate your devotional service. As Prabhupada says, time and tide wait for no man. That's why we should accelerate our devotional service. So we should be very careful. It's how we spend time and like that. And, because this opportunity is a golden opportunity for us. There is nothing in this world, as yesterday Mataji was saying, this is not our home. This material world is not our home. We are not meant to, make a lasting and some big, arrangement in this material world. We are supposed to exit this material world. And this is a great opportunity. We just have to become Krishna conscious, that's it. We just have to surrender to Krishna and say, yes, Krishna, what you are saying is correct. So, otherwise, we are in the cycle of birth and death. We'll get some enjoyment and we'll suffer also. Yeah.
I was reading about Nimai's early life and his elder brother. He was such a knowledgeable, and why? Because he used to be a student in Advaita Acharya school, right? So one time, the Pandita's Navadip was famous for the education shastras, and Panditas called him. He was a 12 years boy, and he accompanied by his father Jagannath Mishra. So he said, so Vishwarup, so Vishwarupa was also very good looking. And he's asked that, so what did you learn in the Shastras, Nyaya Shastras, philosophy, everything? So he was very polite. He answered that I learned everything a little bit. So his father got annoyed because that's the kind of prestige. His father was a very famous teacher. So he left, and the son also followed. And on the way, he slapped very hardly to Vishwarup. And Vishwarup was just overwhelmed, couldn't take it, his father's anger. He went back. He suddenly turned and went back to that group of Pandit Brahmins and told him, ask me whatever you want to ask questions. I'm ready to answer. So first question they asked that, the darshan. What is the meaning of darshan? Darshan means to see, dekha, dekhna. But he said, his reply was, no, not just dekhna, to see truth. Satya ke dekhna naam hai darshan. Then he asked another question: what is the aim of life? Why human is born? He said the purpose of human life is to get moksha, nothing else. And moksha can be obtained only by connecting with Hari. So that's why we get human birth. What you were telling, that Krishna Nam, the purpose of having human life, coming in the form of human, is to get moksha of this Maya. That 12-year boy answered. So the Panditas were very amazed that his knowledge.
Where is this pastime mentioned?
It's Bhakti Prabhakar. And Mukunda, Mukunda and Jagadananda, these two were Nimai's classmates, right? Mukunda, Mala. There are two, I can send that. So this was Vishwarup. Vishwarup was also very, very highly kind of, what do you tell, similar to Nimai also. He was not Hari's Rup, but he was also very, very highly. The 12-year Vishwarup's answer.
Yeah, I think it is also in Chaitanya Bhagavat, right?
Yeah, Bhagavad also, I forgot, I will send that. Vishwarup's answer was amazing. And the purpose of Mahaprabhu's going to south is to find his elder brother, because they heard that Vishwarup left towards south. But he knew that, he and Nityananda knew that Vishwarup within 2 years he passed away, actually, at the age of 18 there. But still he wanted to find Vishwarup's, because he was very dear to his elder brother, used to love him a lot. Vishwarup. It's very beautiful. I was amazed. Young 12-year Vishwarup's reply, those are the replies. So how much he understood.
Do you know where? Maybe I'm asking.
I will send that. Yeah, because I was reading. I will send
I think
the
it is
link.
in the concise version where.
Yeah. It's a beautiful answer by Vishwarup.
One day Jagannath Mishra was invited to an assembly of Brahmana Pandits. He took his son Vishwarup with him. All the Brahmanas were very erudite and clever old men. They were astonished to see the beauty of the young child. So Vishwarup and Jagannath Mishra went to the assembly. Indeed, it appeared as if Vishwarup's effulgent personality had stolen away the Brahmana's gravity and cynicism. One of the Pandits approached Vishwarup and asked, "How far have you studied, young lad?" Vishwarup replied, "I have studied a little of everything." The Brahmanas didn't mind the boy's slightly insolent reply, but Jagannath Mishra felt embarrassed. As they returned home from the meeting, the father slapped his son and said, "Why did you not clearly tell the names of the books you have studied?" So he said, "I have studied everything little bit." So he says, "Why didn't you not tell the books? Instead of talking in circles, you certainly made a fool of yourself today and spoiled my reputation." Even after returning home, Jagannath Mishra was in an angry mood. Vishwarup decided to return to the assembly. He went alone and said to the Brahmanas, "None of you asked me any more questions after I had given my reply." So he said, "I have studied little bit of everything." And then he said, But you didn't ask me anything further. And Vishwarup was chastised by his father. Because of your silence, my father is very angry. Now ask me some more questions so that I can give a proper reply. In response, however, the scholar simply laughed condescendingly, considering Vishwarup to be a foolish child. One of the Brahmanas said, "All right, young man, what did you study today?" Vishwarup explained a few aphorisms from the text of logic, and the Brahmanas appreciated his presentation. So, what did you study today? So he said, "Okay, I said this." They said, "You have learned the aphorisms well." Vishwarup said, "You are bluffing, for you don't understand a word of it." After saying this, Vishwarup refuted whatever explanations he had given, to the utter amazement of the scholars. In fact, Vishwarup refuted his own arguments twice. In a dazed state, the scholars admitted, "Yes, you are most intelligent." But by the influence of Lord's illusory energy, they could not understand his words or his position. In fact, the entire society of Brahmana was so intoxicated by the materialistic conception of life that no one cared for devotion to Lord Krishna or living a Krishna centered life. So that is the reason Advaita Acharya, he prayed for Lord Chaitanya to descend. All the scholars prided themselves in their ability to argue logically, but no one endeavored to cultivate Krishna consciousness. And the few that taught Bhagavad Gita spent their time in dry speculation instead of explaining the true essence, devotion to Lord Krishna. Vishwarup went from one assembly to another and one school to another, but nowhere was the subject of devotion to God discussed, and so he became very despondent. So he wanted to study about devotion to Krishna. He was going everywhere. At that time, Advaita Acharya was lecturing on the book Yoga Vashishta. Even though the book presents impersonal philosophy, Advaita Acharya explained everything in relation to Lord Krishna. Advaita Acharya was accepted as the foremost Vaishnava. Vishwarup found that his association alone gave him satisfaction. Vishwarup spent as much time with Advaita Acharya as he could, and Advaita also relished his company, exchanging devotional mellows with him. At that time, Vishwambar was a beautiful young boy, energetic and radiant, so already Nimai had appeared. Once Mother Sachi sent Vishwambar saying, "Go and tell your brother to come to home immediately." Vishwambar ran to Advaita Acharya's house. There he saw many exalted devotees, including Srivas Pandit, surrounding Advaita Acharya. So they were all sitting there. And Nimai is going to tell Vishwambar, "Come home." Smiling sweetly, Vishwambar said, "My dear brother, please come quickly and have your lunch." The little boy Vishwambar was so attractive that everyone became enchanted by his extraordinary good looks. They forgot everything and simply drank his beauty through their eyes. Every day, little Vishwambar would come on the pretext of calling his elder brother. Advaita Acharya used to think, "This beautiful lad steals my heart away." So he is the one for whom Advaita Acharya prayed. And he was so beautiful, golden complexion. Advaita Acharya was thinking, "He must be the Lord of my life, for no one else could bewilder my mind with his exquisite beauty in this way." Being the Paramatma, the Lord could understand Advaita Acharya's thought and quickly left. So Nimai also could understand what Advaita Acharya is thinking. Vishwarup began to spend more and more time in Advaita Acharya's company. Then later on, Vishwarup left home in the renounced order of lives, sannyas, receiving the name Shankaranya. And this actually pained, Sachi Mata's heart. So, and she started thinking about, Advaita Acharya's. He is not Advaita, he is what?
Dvaita.
Daita Guru, Daitwa.
Dvaita. He's
He gave
he's
name
not,
Daitwa Guru.
yeah, he's not uniting, he's separating. Dvaita means two. So he's not uniting families, he's separating families. So that's when what happened then? They told that.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I will give everybody mercy except for my mother." I think he said that in the Mahaprakash Lila.
Yeah, in the Mahaprakash
Yes, that's Shantipur Mahaprakash Leela. Yeah.
So actually, yeah, they stopped him from going to school.
Yes.
They said Nimai should not study because if he learns all this Shastra, he will become detached and he will also follow the footsteps of Vishwarup. Then one son has left, another son also will left. We cannot at any cost lose our Nimai. So they stopped him from going to school for the time being at least. Yeah. Because if he learned all this Shastra, then all these things will come about, right? So,
Mm.
okay. So, anyway, it's 8 o'clock, I didn't realize. So, yeah, I can read a little bit. It's nice. I'm sure that Advaita Acharya influence. So, Sachimata was thinking, after the initial hurt of separation waned, so she was so much in agony. Vishwarup left in the middle of the night without telling anybody because they were thinking of his marriage, right? And Vishwarup didn't like it also, and he just left. I'm sure that Advaita Acharya influenced my son to accept the renounced order of life. So she was thinking, oh, it's Advaita Acharya only who is responsible for this. She never spoke of this, however, being careful not to commit Vaishnava aparadh. But in her mind, she was thinking, but suffered her fate silently. She took solace in her little son Vishwambar, who seemed to understand her grief, and thus endeavored much to please her. After some time, Vishwambar grew up to become a young man, and he also began to spend much time with Advaita Acharya. Indeed, he spent very little time at home with his young wife Lakshmi, while he spent long hours at Advaita Acharya's house. Because of this, Sachimata thought Advaita Acharya will also take this son of mine away. Then once in an outburst of grief, Sachimata wailed, to the world he may be known as Advaita or non-dual, but to me he is Dvaita, full of duplicity. He has already taken away one of my moon-like sons, and yet he does not leave my other son in peace. I am a poor mother, but he has no pity on me. Oh, this Advaita has deceived me. It is this that the Lord considered to be offensive, making her unfit to render devotional service to the Supreme Lord. This was Lord Chaitanya's way of teaching the world to become free from Vaishnava aparadh. Another purpose Another purpose of this pastime was to prevent misguided persons in the future from claiming that Advaita Acharya is the original Supreme Personality of God, instead of recognizing his true position as an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So, so that's the. Okay, we can stop with Bhagavatam here. Does anybody like to share anything? Song or anything?
Yeah, I can sing some.
So long, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just sing few verses and then we can read the translation. So this is what Bhojan. What is this called? This is the one we sing when Krishna is taking his meal.
I think the Aarti for what is it? Bhoga Aarti.
Bhoga Aarti.
When you offer Krishna, then afterwards you.
Okay. भज भकतवत्सल श्रीगर हरि भज भकतवत्सल श्रीगर हरि श्रीगर हरि सोहि गोष्ठी बिहारी नंद यशोद यशोमति चित्त हरि भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला बेला हलो दामोदरेशाई खाना भोग मंदिरे बसी करह भोजन नंदेर निदेशे बेशे गिरिवर धारी बलदेव साहस खबैष सारी सारी भज भकत वत्सल श्री गर हरि शुक्त शाकादि भाजी नलित कुष्माण्डा दाली दल दुग्ध तुम्बी दधि मोचा खण्ड मुद्ग बोर माश बोर रोटिका घृताना शुष्कुली पिष्टक खीर पुली पायसाना भज भकत वत्सल श्री गर हरि सोहि गोष्ठी बिहारी नंद यशोमति चित्त हरि भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला. We can read the translation. We can take turns, maybe. Three verses we can read. Just worship Sri Gaur Hari, who is always affectionate towards his devotees. He is the same supreme Godhead Krishna who sported in the cowherd pastures of Raj and stole the hearts of Nanda and Yashoda. Just worship Govinda, Govinda, Gopala. Mother Yashoda calls to Krishna, "My dear Damodar, it is very late. Please come right now, sit down in the dining hall and take your lunch." On the direction of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, the holder of Govardhan hill, sits down, and then all the cowherd boys, along with Krishna's elder brother Sri Baladev, sit down in rows to take their lunch.
Okay.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
They are then served a feast of sukta and various kinds of green leafy vegetables, then nice fried things and a salad made of the green leaves of the jute plant. They are also served pumpkin, baskets of fruit, small square cakes made of lentils and cooked down milk, then thick yogurt, squash cooked in milk, and vegetables preparations made from the tower of the banana tree. Then they receive fried squares of moong dal patties and urad dal patties, chapatis, and rice with ghee. Next, sweets made with milk, sugar, and sesamum, rice flour cakes, thick cooked down milk, cakes floating in milk, and sweet rice. Should I read one more, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can read till 6.
Okay. There is also sweet rice that tastes just like nectar due to its being mixed with camphor. There are bananas and cheese which is nectarian and delicious. There are also served 12 kinds of sour preparations made with tamarinds, limes, lemons, oranges, and pomegranates. Hare Krishna.
Okay, anybody else?
I can do. So there are puns made with white flour and sugar, puns filled with cream, laddus and dahi, patties boiled in sugared rice. Krishna eagerly eats all of the food. In great ecstasy and joy, Krishna eats the rice, curried vegetables, sweets, and pastries cooked by Srimati Radharani. Krishna's funny Brahman friend Madhu Mangala, who is very fond of laddus, get them by hook or by crook. Eating the laddus, he shouts, Hari Bol, and makes a funny sound by swapping his sides under his armpits with his hands. Shall I continue?
Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, if you want to read.
Beholding Radharani and her gopi friends out of her counters of his eyes, Krishna eats at the house of Mother Yasoda with great satisfaction. After lunch, Krishna drinks rose scented water. Then all the boys standing in lines wash their mouths. After all the cowherds, boys wash their hands and mouth. In great bliss, they take rest with Lord Balram. The two cowherd boys, Jambula and Rasalla, then bring Krishna pan made with betel nuts, fancy spices, and chatechu. I don't know what is this. After eating that pin, Sri Krishna Chandra then happily goes to sleep, while Krishna happily takes his rest on an excellent bedstead. His servant Visalaka cools him with a fan of peacock feathers. At Mother Yasoda's request, the gopi Dhanishta brings remnants of food left on Krishna's plate to Srimati Radharani, who eats them with great delight. Lalita Devi and the other gopis then receive the remnants, and within their heart they sing the glories of Radharani and Krishna with great joy. Thakur Bhakti Vinod, whose one and only joy is pastimes of Lord Hari, sings the Bhoga Arti song.
Mhm. So this is the actual pastime that happens in the spiritual world every day, where Radharani is coming to Nandagang and cooking for Krishna every morning. And there's so many preparations that she cooks, 50 or so. It's mentioned in the Ashtakaliya Leela book. Radharani and all the gopis are cooking for Krishna, and Krishna is eating, and Krishna can eat so much. We can't eat, like for us, we have to be careful of, our weight is increasing, we can't eat sugar, but Krishna eats so many nice sweets and all. There is no limit. And so in the spiritual world, Krishna and all the gopas, they're having so much fun, having picnic, eating. So all the friends of Krishna also eating, and Madhumangal likes laddus. So when he eats laddus, he's making a sound. He's swapping his sides under his armpits with his hands. He likes Radharani's laddus. And Krishna is seeing Radharani and all the gopis from the corners of his eyes, telling them that I like your preparations. And Yashoda Devi is feeling very satisfied that Krishna is eating, because she's always concerned that Krishna is becoming slim. He's not eating anything. So after the lunch, they wash their hands and mouth and they take rest. And they eat betel nuts, spices. And Krishna is resting, and his friends are fanning the peacock feather. And then after Krishna eats, Yashoda gives the remnants of Krishna to Dhanishta, who's the maid servant, who takes the plate to Srimati Radharani. So Krishna's remnants are eaten by Srimati Radharani, and then when Radharani eats, her remnants are eaten by Lalita Devi and the gopis. And then it's mentioned also, after the gopis eat, then their remnants are given to the manjaris. And yeah, so this is the pastime that happens every day.
Is it even in Brihad Bhagavatam Mataji Gop Kumar when he goes and meets the Lord?
Yes. Yeah, when Gopakumar meets the Lord, Krishna is eating laddus, and he makes a funny face that I don't like these laddus. So he places all the laddus in Gopakumar's plate so that he eats those laddus. I don't know what Radharani thinks that.
He cries, I think so, because
Yeah, Radharani cries that, oh, Krishna is not eating my laddus, they're not made well.
And that is only to give laddus to Kumar, right?
Correct, yes.
He just wants to give, so he's making an excuse so that he can eat.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, here too, he gives all the laddus to Madhumangal. Krishna likes to share.
Okay, I'll just sign out and back. Yeah. Okay. So we can read some prayers. We are reading some prayers from Prahlad Maharaj, right? Which once we were stopped. We put there somewhere. We'll read for a few minutes, then I have to go. So, I put in the chat We have Margi with us. Hare Krishna, Margi. Hearing.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining. So I think we read till 7:9:26. So I'll read the prayer. We can read like 3, 4 verses.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Now?
Yes.
Okay, 7, 9 prayers. Yeah, it's still 50. So I'll read like 2, 3 and then. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never even offered even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Goddess of Fortune Lakshmi? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you have put it upon mine. So Prahlad is saying, I am so fortunate that you have put your hand upon mine. No, even Lakshmi and others did not get this, benediction. So I am so fortunate. Okay. Even though I am born in a family of Asura, so your mercy is such that you have put your hand on my head. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, the favorable and unfavorable, because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Nonetheless, you offer your benedictions according to the level of one's service, exactly as a desired tree delivers fruit according to one's desire and makes no distinction between lower and higher. So everybody, Krishna is reciprocating based on our surrender. Yatha mam prapadyante tanstateva bhajami. So you are impartial to everybody, but somebody who surrenders to you, then he gets your mercy and benediction. That's what he's saying. You do not discriminate. Prabhupada also says Yatha mam. So according to the service the living entity renders, he automatically receives benedictions from Krishna, who does not make distinctions, thinking, here is a person in intimate relationship with me, and here is a person I dislike. Krishna advises everyone to surrender to him. One's relationship with Supreme Lord is in proportion to that surrender and the service one renders to the Lord. Okay. So Krishna is very open, like he has created all this. Whoever you worship, you can go there. Then he says, my dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes. The well is blind means nobody can see that there is a well, and in the well there are snakes. So he was saying I was going down and down because of my material desires, following the general populace. Everybody is doing like that. But your servant Narad Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I live his service? So he says, without Narad Muni, he was speaking in so long time. He was speaking, Kayadu was hearing, Prahlad was hearing. And he says, because of Narad Muni's, association in the form of his Vani, I I came to this position of, devotion to you. So how can I leave his service? I should serve him. My first duty is to serve him. He is in the association of Narsinghadev, but he is not forgetting what Narad Muni has done for him. Okay, so nice purports are there, but I'm just reading. So I'll read another one. 4 I can read. My Lord, O unlimited reservoir of transcendent qualities, you have killed my father, Hiranyakashipu, and saved me from his sword. Hiranyakashipu tried everything to kill Prahlad, and finally he wanted to kill himself because nothing was working. So he took out his sword and he was ready to chop off the head of Prahlad. And Nrsimhadev, his head said very angrily, if there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. I shall now sever your head from your body. Therefore, I think that both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just to prove the words of your devotee. There is no other cause. So, what is that? You acted just to prove the words of your devotee.
Multiple devotees, like Brahma's words.
Mm-hmm.
No. This is Narad Muni's words. 2 words of your devotee. That your son will be protected.
Mm-hmm.
Killing me, yeah, he came in the Narsingha form, fitting in all the benediction that Brahmaji gave also. Narad Muni, Brahmaji. Who else?
So, I think. So, Kayadu had asked, right, Narad Muni, that let my devotee always, let my child always be protected, because she is mother and she was very worried because her husband was away. All the devtas had captured the kingdom, so she prayed. So Narad Muni said, yes, your child will always be protected. Yeah. So that's how maybe Prabhupada also said that in the purport. Yeah, when Prahlad was under the protection.
To prove through the words of Narad.
Okay. So we can read another 5 verses. So we'll read from 30 to 35.
I can read. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation. For you existed before the creation, you exist after the annihilation, and you are maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external energy through actions and reactions of the 3 modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally and internally is you alone.
Any comments?
Yeah, it's Krishna and Krishna's energy. Same as 9.4, right? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avaktamurtinam. By me, man manifested from this entire universe. Anyways, my dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is certainly a type of illusion, Maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore not different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is non-different from you, and the annihilation is also caused by you. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. So everything is Krishna or Krishna. So there's Achintya Bheda also, right? Non-different from you. It's different as well as non-different. And what's the seed and the tree example? Krishna is a seed. Like the father gives birth to the mother gives birth to the child. Seed is giving birth to the tree, but they are different, but they're coming from the same. So, can you explain that?
What is this? This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the cause.
Yeah, the cosmos has come from Krishna.
Yeah, the tree is there because of the seed, and Krishna is maybe the seed giving father.
Hmm.
Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. So, without the seed, the tree will not grow, something like that. So, he is the subtle cause of everything, and the seed is given by Krishna. I think that's what.
Yeah, he's talking about Achinta Bheda.
Okay. So next, I think this is more now like about his glories. All these verses here.
O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation, the creative energy is kept in you, you who appear to sleep with half closed eyes. And actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being, for you are always in transcendental stage beyond the creation of the material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss. As Karanadaksha Vishnu, you thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects. Although you appear to sleep, the sleeping is distinct from sleeping in ignorance. Yeah, Mahavishnu is sleeping and his breathing is creating so many universes, creating and annihilating also. So it's not like our sleeping, which is a mode of ignorance.
Yeah, sometimes they say this world is a dream of Mahavishnu, right? It's the yoga nidra. So this whole material world is like a dream-like situation for all the living entities. And what are they dreaming here? That I am the Lord, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. Everybody is dreaming like this in this material existence. And I am this body, and from that everything is coming. Okay. So it is in a dream. Okay. Then
This cosmic manifestation, the material world, is also your body. This total lump of matter is agitated by your potent energy known as Kala Shakti, and thus the three modes of material nature are manifested. You awaken from the bed of Shesha, Ananta, and from your navel a small transcendental seed is generated. It is from this seed that the lotus flower of the gigantic universe is manifested, exactly as a banyan tree grows from a small seed. uh, the whole the whole cosmic manifestation is the body of the Lord. In the universal form, there, that's what it is depicted, right? The material world is the body of, and then the lotus flower is growing from from the Mahavishnu or Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Brahma will take birth.
Shirodakshai Vishnu is the super soul
The universe. No,
of all the living entities, right? Shirodakshai Vishnu. And Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the super soul of the
because of the universe. Yeah. For the whole universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu is a super soul, right? For each of the jivas, Shirodaksha Vishnu is a super soul.
and for all the universes combined for the whole creation, Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu.
Okay. Then next verse.
From that great flower, lotus flower, Brahma was generated, but Brahma certainly could see nothing from the but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find the source of the lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you, however, for when a seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. The Brahma wanted to find its origin, and he went down the lotus flower, but it was so long, and 100 years, celestial years passed, and then he climbed back again. It's because the seed which generated that lotus flower, it disappears when it fructifies.
So also like with our own effort, we cannot approach God, something like that. Only by, of course, he did tapa after that. Right?
He heard the word tapaya.
Tapa. And then Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavai. From within the heart.
Is revealed the knowledge.
The last verse we'll read for today.
Lord Brahma was celebrated as Atma Yoni, having been born without a mother, was struck with wonder. Thus he took shelter of the lotus flower, and when he had been purified after undergoing severe austerities for many hundreds of years, he could see that the cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was spread throughout his own body and senses, just as aroma, although very subtle, is perceived in the earth. So he understood that the Supreme Lord is everywhere, spread in the universe and also his own body, just like aroma is very subtle is there.
Okay, so 7:35 here. So it's still 50. We'll lead tomorrow. I have to, some meeting is there, so I have to go. But stop here for today. Thank you everyone for